Hey, what's going on there, everybody? And welcome to a new episode of Film Fights with Friends podcast. I am Paul Veraci, and here with me is my partner in crime,
Steven Kepfer.
What's going on, buddy?
What's up, dude? Film Fights with Friends, episode 19.
Episode 19, or kind of episode 2 with the new name.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. We're in that transitional period.
I like it though.
Me too.
It fits better. I'm good with it.
I'm down with it.
I'm almost glad he called.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, you asked me the other day, what's a movie? This kind of, in a way, dovetails on the mailbag episode a little.
It does.
But you asked me, what's a movie that the critics panned, but that I loved, and I couldn't think of anything off the top of my head, but you had one.
I had one. And this movie, I feel, is just, it's kind of perfect for that. I'm not. Are we going to give away the title right now?
No, give away the title. So we'll come back to it. We got to keep people wanting to tune in, right?
Right. So we're talking about the movie Running Scared with Paul Walker.
Not the one
with Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal, which is a great fucking one of my favorite movies in its own right.
Yes.
This is not a remake in any way.
No, not even close. Not even close.
But this movie, when it came out, was not released in a lot of theaters. I went and saw it at a very small theater, and I immediately liked it. I strapped in and I went along for the ride, and I didn't look back.
Yeah.
And I feel that this is one of those movies where you have to do that. If you look too hard into it, you can find all the holes that you want to.
Mm-hmm. No, I hadn't seen it.
Yes.
So I actually just watched it last night. So my impressions are hot off the presses.
Yeah.
So, and anybody who wants to watch this movie, it's free on Tubi. You can check it out.
Yes.
Came out in 2006.
2006.
Yeah.
Hyper violent movie.
Yeah, super
hyper violent, very emotional, but very over emotional.
Yeah. A little overly dramatic at times.
For sure. And also I love this movie because, again, Paul Walker shows acting that he doesn't show in any other movie he's ever done before. Yeah. So he just does show a good range of acting in this. So
he still does drive a cool car, though.
He does very well.
Yeah, totally. But before we get to the movie, man, how have you been? How's your week been?
Dude, things have been good. The week's been good. Started crop stuff started picking up again, which is always nice.
Yeah.
So
you got some private lessons going on.
Got some privates going on. I also got a call from one of the top Israeli organizations that want me to represent them in New York again. But it's always a tough topic. Especially a tough time for stuff like that. It was kind of why I left in the beginning. I was getting all these unsolicited stuff because of everything going on and Palestine and Israel, and because I do Krav Maga, everybody just assumes.
Yeah.
So I get all this stuff in my inbox, and I just kind of distance myself from the whole thing, and my inbox is definitely lightened up.
Well, I had similar people asking me similar questions, like when
with the Sambo
when Russia invaded Ukraine, and I do a Russian martial art, and I'm like, dude, I just teach people how to fight. Doesn't matter where it's from.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, I keep the politics out of ass kicking.
Yeah, for sure.
But dude, man, my week was pretty good. I got a couple days working on a feature film out here, doing some driving.
Very nice.
And they were all overnights, so I'm still kind of, my body clock still.
Overnights are the worst, man.
They were all overnights, and it was but fun stuff.
Nice.
We'll talk about it more when
it comes out, and you can talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. That'll probably be like season 3 of this show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But otherwise, yeah, it was a good week, dude.
Nice, man.
Yeah. So we got to thank our YouTube commenter, Noel Kim. And if you've heard that name before, it's because we've mentioned it before.
We have.
Because she is actually the owner of Stunt Contact, who sponsors this show.
Yes.
But I love when the sponsors actually watch and listen to the episodes.
She's pretty active. I mean, I noticed she likes stuff on my page, and I'm still surprised. And I was like, oh wow, Stunt Contact is yeah. I love that there's the back and forth with us and them.
Yeah, totally. So she commented on the YouTube video on one of our YouTube episodes.
Oh, very nice.
So thanks, Noelle.
What did she say? So the people know.
Oh, she said, "I love this episode!" Multiple exclamation points. It was on our last episode.
Yeah.
With Jasper.
I'm like, I know.
Yeah. Jasper Joyner. If you haven't listened to this episode,
Jasper's the best, man.
Go back and listen.
Jasper's my buddy.
Yeah.
He's a big guy. He kicks ass, but he's just a big teddy bear.
Yeah. Jasper's awesome, dude. So we are, what do you call it? We are sponsoring a film festival.
Yes, the Art of Movie Making Film Festival.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're one of many sponsors, but we are supporting this film festival, which is really cool.
And this is all about best stunt performance, VFX, sound effects as well. All of the
crafts, the different crafts.
I like the way that we're trying to find a better way to make this not sound like a secondary.
Without they're doing set design, stop motion animation. They actually just introduced a new category, best use of drones, which is cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, man. And they are having the best stunt performance, and the winner of that category will be on this show.
There was what movie? I think Rebel Ridge just came out and had some cool drone stuff. But one of the first movies I remember watching a feature, Ambulance with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh yeah.
I think it was a Michael Bay movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Michael Bay went and literally found a drone racer from YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And they did this really cool shot where they jump the ambulance and then the drone goes underneath it.
Yep.
While it's in the air. That was super cool.
There was also that scene in Brother's Son where they were at the driving range, the golf driving range, with the big massive fight where the drone was flying in between all the guys fighting and around and inside.
That was a crazy scene.
That was totally crazy. So yeah, the drone stuff is cool. I did a little driving on that show Feud for
the drone was tracking you, right?
Yeah, the drone shots, driving for the drone shots. And people, recreational folks out there probably think of a drone as something like that big, but the drones on set are huge.
Yeah,
they got to carry them big, heavy cameras, and they're massive.
Right? Did you see that the video that I sent you of the small little drone that was on the camera platform and then it took off in the middle of the shot?
That was amazing. It was like the dolly. It was on a dolly.
Yep.
No, it was on a crane.
It was on a crane
onto the dolly,
and
then it took off,
and then it just took
with
off
a drone
in a continual shot. From following the dirt bike.
Yeah, totally,
really cool.
So yeah, crazy stuff. So they just added a new drone use of drones category.
That's awesome.
And so the festival is June 21st and 22nd here in New York City.
And the winner of the best stunt performance category,
will be on this show.
Going to be on the show.
Yeah, totally.
Which is great.
Hopefully who knows? It could be a seasoned person. It could be a new person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you've got a performance that you were in or that you produced or that was part of one of your productions, submit it. We will have the Film Freeway link to submit to this festival in the show notes. So people should head on over there and submit if you're a filmmaker or a performer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great festival.
Sounds good.
Yeah, totally, man.
I mean, and we also have coming up, we have Bites with Friends. We have our own presentation. We have our own screen premiere coming up, man.
Yeah, man. Film Fights with Friends live, right?
Our first live show.
Yes, our first live event.
It's going to be fun.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and we're going to be screening Preston Thomas's Film Jitsu.
Yeah, Film Jitsu documentary.
I always want to say Film Jujitsu.
Yeah,
I have to stop. I have to stop myself.
Film Jiu-Jitsu.
Film Jiu-Jitsu. It's no, it's not that, dude.
No, but it's a cool documentary, and Preston was on the show, so definitely go back a couple episodes and check that one out, and you'll find out all about this documentary. But in short, it is a film about the intersection of martial arts, grappling in specific, and the film industry.
Yeah.
And it kind of mirrors Preston's own journey as a martial artist and filmmaker himself.
Yeah, and also, working his way through, the grappling world and his journey and becoming a phenomenal competition grappler.
Dude, he's really good.
He's really good.
He's here. He's trained here with us, and he is strong. I'm just going to say it. He's fucking strong.
I don't want any part of it.
No. He's strong, dude.
Yeah,
he's very strong. And if you'll find out, he thinks he's humor. He thinks he's full of humor, but people often think he's humorless, according to his other movies. We talked about that in the episode, right? Where he's he was surprised that people laughed. Yeah. They did a screening in LA, and he was surprised at the laughs he got because he was like,
normally not funny.
My movies are usually humorless. But there's some legends in this movie.
Yes.
Some real legends, David Leitch and
Paulson.
Eric Paulson, Gokar Chavichin. There's just really, really great stuff.
Yeah.
Really great stuff. So definitely. And our Patreon subscribers will be able to go for free.
That's right.
That's right. This is going to be on February 8th here in Brooklyn, New York at Stewart Cinemas. And we will have information up on our social media and everything about how to get tickets if you're not a Patreon subscriber. But if you are a Patreon subscriber, we will hit you up and give you a ticket. And hopefully our sponsors and everybody else will be there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So we're really looking forward to it. First live event. Preston Thomas. This is second feature. It's cool. It'll be the first screening in New York.
Yep.
Advanced screening, we'll call it.
Advanced screening. That's right. Not a screening. It's an advanced
Well,
screening.
no, it's not a premiere.
Not a premiere.
It's not a public. It's not really a public.
No, it's a
kind of
private
thing. Yeah.
showing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to mess up his festival run by calling it a premiere.
Yes, very true.
It's not a premiere.
It's not a premiere.
It's a premiere.
It's a private screening.
Yes, private screening.
Private screening.
Advanced screening.
Advanced private screening.
That's right, man. So we did mention Stunt Contact.
Yes, we did.
Because Noel commented on our YouTube.
And they are one of our fabulous sponsors.
Yes, we love them. Definitely check them out. Links in the show notes. If you need an industry breakdown specific to the stunt community, it's the place to go. But I honestly think it's just a great breakdown all around.
Yeah, weekly emails.
Yeah. Weekly or daily. If you want to upgrade, you can get daily emails. Productions that are dropped. It's pre-production. What's in principal photography, what's shooting, what's post-production, what's simply being talked about. And it consolidates all the various links from the trades and from IMDb Pro and everything into the breakdown for you. So like normally you would have to go search, what are the trades saying about this? So who's working on this? And all that kind of stuff. It's all consolidated into one spot for you. And plus the part that you like, you can take notes.
You can take notes, so you don't email the same guy 7 times.
Yeah, totally. So definitely check it out, man. Check it out for sure. And Brett Copes, who runs Fight or Flight
Entertainment.
Yes. Who said he's going to come to the screening in February.
That'd be great.
We're going to hold you to that, Brett.
We are going to hold you to that.
Yeah. Fight or Flight
You're
Entertainment.
Fly on down here.
That's a long wire gag. We're going to pull him from Atlanta to Brooklyn.
I wonder what the longest or highest wire gag he's ever done was. I wonder if there's a record for that.
I'm sure there is.
There's a record for everything, right?
Yeah, totally. And if there isn't, he can make one. He can create it.
Nice.
Just call Guinness. Hey, there's no record in your Guinness book about the longest wire pull or highest wire gag or whatever. So we'll just do one from 10 feet because you don't have one anyway.
Right. That's it. That's the record.
Yeah. It won't last long, but it'll be there. But
wouldn't it be funny if someone sets it up to break it and just goes like 10.1?
That's it, man. 1 inch more. But Brett is awesome. If you need to get your skills up to snuff as a performer or as a rigger, a stunt rigger, his workshops are the place to go.
And it's great. And he's actually come down here and done a workshop at our next sponsor, which is Breakfall Studios.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, that's us.
That's us.
Right there.
That's us. We sponsor ourselves.
Yeah, we sponsor ourselves.
We started at the 15th episode after good direction of our wife to start supporting ourselves.
Yes. But you can see behind us, this wonderful space is available for you to use, to rent, to practice in, to hold auditions in, to
come train actors,
shoot previs, train actors. If you need help with choreography services, any of that stuff, hit us up, dude.
We are here.
Yeah, hit us up. Our email is fightingwithfriendspod@gmail.com. And since you're emailing us about hiring us, you should also just throw in that email that you want to be on our mailing list.
Yes, very true.
Totally. So if you do want to be on our mailing list, shoot us an email.
And along with being on our mailing list, please don't forget to support our Patreon and join, like,
and do it
follow.
before February so you can get a ticket to the screening.
That's right.
Yeah.
And all of our Patreon subscribers are going to get a free ticket to the screening.
Yeah, even if you're just putting in $1 a month.
Yep, that's it.
Doesn't matter.
You're coming with us.
We'd love you if you put a few zeros after that $1, but
a few.
Why not? Hey, listen, aim high, man.
Stars.
Aim high. Definitely. So check us out. All the links to all our sponsors and us and Breakfall Studios, our socials, everything will be in the show notes. Show us likes, love, reviews, subscribes, shares, any way you can show us love out there on the interwebs. Do it, please.
Comments and questions, especially.
Yeah. On YouTube. We'll
Yeah.
call you. We'll shout you out here.
Mhm.
Awesome, dude. I think that's it. We can go into talking about Running Scared.
Running Scared.
Get rid of these notes. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
So Running Scared, man. So why don't you start by breaking it down a little bit? Like, what is this movie about? Because you were like, Steve, you got to see this movie.
You know, and even when I told you needed to see this movie, I couldn't fucking tell you what it was about. It's got so much. There's so much going on. So I guess the main story behind this is Paul Walker is a gangster, right? And he's going around. We'll just keep it short. And he's going around with his gangster buddies and doing some gangster shit. And they're in a drug deal.
Yeah.
And in this,
actually, before the drug deal, the opening scene is
that's what I'm talking about. Opening scene is drug deal
with the kid with Oleg. He's throwing Oleg in the car.
Oh, the very
opening is you see him coming out with the kid all bloody.
Yes, true. That's
jumping in a car, driving like we need to get help, we need to get home. Blah,
That's
blah,
right.
Blah, blah,
Because yes, it was. Well, we can spoil it, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those movies where the opening scene is the ending scene.
Yes.
So that's what they're.
It's a flash forward. Flash forward.
Yes, it is a flash forward.
Yeah.
So they're showing that scene, and basically, it's very, very, very quick. And there's a gun. Paul Walker's holding a knife. Another guy's holding a gun. And then you hear the gunshot. Boom. Yeah. And then we're in the car, and
the kid's all bloody, and they're driving.
And you kind of really don't know what's going on, but
and then
someone's hurt.
You know someone's hurt. I assumed it was the kid, honestly, because they showed him more, like with blood all over his chest and everything.
Yeah.
But we find out later it's not him.
Yes.
But I thought it was the kid. And then somebody, a person rides out into the street on a bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
And then we hear the screech. The kid's like, "You're going to crash." And then cut to opening credit.
Yes, that's right.
Running Scared. Yes.
Yeah.
And then we get to
the opening scene in the hotel room.
Yes. The drug deal, crime deal, whatever the heck. I don't know if it was a drug deal. They're just counting money and
well, they were testing drugs.
They had vials.
They had vials. They were doing a sample for, whatever it was.
I don't think they were doing anything other than the director was like, we just need to have them doing drug stuff.
Right?
Just in here. Just take a little eyedropper and put some stuff in a test tube.
Right. And then you have the guy who they're in a private room in their own and he's hiding the gun in his fucking jacket.
What the fuck, dude? Like, so you're in this room and they're kind of going through the room and you got all these thugs and he's got a jacket and he's holding a Uzi in his jacket. I'm like, dude, you're in your own fucking room.
Like, everybody knows you have the Uzi, bro.
Yeah, totally. Like that. I was like, what?
Yeah,
that was so weird.
So that there goes the kind of the story. So then a big shootout happens in the room.
And by the way, the shootout is linked in our show notes.
It is linked in our show notes. It's a great shootout with an awesome wire pull.
Oh yeah,
great
totally.
Wire pull. When he hits the wall and the blood spouted on the wall after he hits it. It's great. I wonder, they must have had like squibs to like pop on his back or something, so that when he hit the wall,
he hit the wall, there was
burst
blood.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a shotgun blast.
Yeah, there was a lot of hyper cuts. I don't know how to call that, but there was these
very music video style fast cuts with lots of pans. Quick pans.
It reminded me of Belly. The way the action and the stuff was shot. I don't know if you remember that MTV movie Belly with DMX and Nas.
No.
But it was shot very much like that, like a Hype Williams, like he's a music video director. But it was shot very much like that.
A lot of tight shots.
Yeah.
A lot of tight shots and low angles looking up from the floor.
It was funny how afterwards you find out why they did that, and for a lot of the locations, because they were shooting in Prague and everything had to look like Jersey.
Yeah, that's
so
what they
said.
Shot
it all in close.
The exteriors, they kept everything tight so they would get as little of the Prague background as possible, and they can make people think it was New Jersey.
It's kind of funny. Like, I don't think they could have found a hotel in New Jersey that could have gotten the feel of that opening scene. For some reason, that, like, once they said Prague, and I was like, oh, that's why that hotel is so seedy. And like, it just looked. But so basically, this opening, right? They have the opening scene. They have a really big shootout, and then before that, then all of a sudden, these guys come through the fucking door
that start the shootout.
Right, that start the shootout.
Masked
right?
dudes with balaclavas over their face.
You cannot be mistaken, and I don't know if they wanted it to be a surprise, but it's fucking Chazz Palminteri
Yeah.
I mean,
the minute he started talking, I
all
was
right,
like,
you motherfuckers! Like you just knew it was him, like right off the bat. You're like, that's Chazz Palminteri.
Yeah. So they're all in there counting their money, doing their drug stuff,
Mhm.
and these guys in all black with the ski masks come in with shotguns and everything, and they're robbing them.
And they don't hold back, man. These guys immediately come in, they start busting them in the face and hitting them in the nuts.
Oh yeah, they were not playing around.
No. So they go down on the ground, and then
everybody slide your guns under the bed,
which was really cool. I like
that.
that
was
so everyone, all the guns go underneath the bed, like all away from everybody. And then, the one guy pulls out the straight razor, which is great. And he slices the dude Achilles tendon and kicks it all off.
Yeah. That starts the whole fucking battle.
And then, this is juicy and bloody squibs. It's a great shootout.
Yeah.
And then of course there's the shootout things where it's just like, what, you can't hide behind that, but you are.
Yeah. Like we're going to turn over bed and hide.
So they hide behind the bed mattress, and that is somehow protecting them.
Well, it's protecting them until that one cool scene where the shotgun blast goes through the mattress.
Oh, and then they shoot, and you
can see the bad guy through the hole in the mattress.
Really cool. Kind of looked like his head popped out. You know what I mean? But point of view shot was really nice.
Mattresses are bulletproof until you need a cool shot. Yes, basically. Yeah.
And then they end up in the car, and basically the plot. This is where
the snub nose.
Yes, the snub nose comes out.
The snub nose is on an ankle holster.
And that they do a rewind scene to show that, right?
That's
so
right.
After they do like a rewind scene because he pulls out the snub nose, and then they do that cool little rewind to show when he was pulling it out in the scene.
Yes.
And then he pulls it out and he shoots the dude right in the nuts.
Yeah.
Like point blank right in the nuts with the snub nose, and then just shotgun everything just.
Basically, like all the bad guys except like Chazz Palminteri are like lying on the ground, either maimed or well, they're all bad guys, but I guess all the masked bad guys are like pretty much dead, except for Chazz Palminteri's character and maybe one other dude.
Right, and then somehow in the middle of this gunfight, this guy ends up with his wallet like in his fucking hand, and then Paul Walker goes to like open it up, and his wallet, and he's a fucking cop.
Yeah,
like that has his badge on him during his strong arm robbery.
So like
drug dealers.
They're totally corrupt cops who rob a bunch of drug dealers. But
by the way, in suits and like pointed dress shoes.
Yeah, totally. And they're like, can you imagine the planning for this? All right, boys, like we're gonna go rob these fuckers. Should we leave our badges home, boss? No. I think you should put them in your pocket.
We're doing it on lunch, so take them with you.
Yeah, totally. So now they realize though they killed a bunch of cops.
Yes,
and that's where they
freak out. So they get in the car, they're driving away, they're all panicking.
Yeah,
and all the guys give Paul Walker their guns.
Yep,
and they're like, dump these somewhere fucking safe. Don't fuck it up.
Yeah,
right.
The guns that killed the cops.
Yep, especially the snub nose.
Yeah.
So then. We cut to the basement. We pretty much cut to the basement, and and then two kids are playing hockey. Hockey in the basement.
Yeah, it's the neighbor's kid, which is Oleg. That we find out is the son of a trafficked Russian prostitute woman.
Yes,
who's living with, I guess, her minder guy,
handler,
or
whatever you want to call it,
pimp,
Captain Dickface.
Yeah, like, dude. It's just horrible. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing.
But the actor who plays him, Carl Rotton, he is awesome.
Yeah.
He's so good. He plays such a great bad guy. He was, I guess he was Rasputin in the first Hellboy.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
If for anybody who needs a real big movie that he was in. And he was also one of our favorites, 15 Minutes. He was the killer.
Yeah.
In 15 Minutes with Oleg.
Yeah. So, but back to the basement. So the two kids are playing.
So the two kids are playing hockey.
Oleg, by the way, is played by who's he played by? I have him right here. Oh, Cameron Bright, who ends up being one of the stars of the Twilight series later on in his career. Yeah, he was good. That little kid was good.
He was really good.
So they're in the basement playing. Dad comes home. Not the Russian dad. This is Walker comes home.
Wife's making pasta. Super hot, steamy scene.
Yeah.
And then he goes downstairs to stash the gun.
Yes.
But you don't realize that. So he goes downstairs, and then the two kids hide.
Yep. They're hiding in the basement when he's stashing the gun.
While they're hiding in the basement, they see him stash the gun, and then the two kids just both innocently break out, like, hey, I'll see you later. Okay, cool. I'm going up for dinner. Boom.
What we don't know is that Oleg took the gun.
Yes.
Yeah. And man, that's just a rabbit hole. That's
Holy
gonna
shit,
get bigger.
dude! And it starts an insane, like this movie could have been a series with all the small little scenes.
It almost feels like a web series strung together.
It does. That's what that's what I said before. It seems like if they took like 3 or 4 minutes that was each its own little thing, and then they're like, let's just throw it all together.
Yeah, totally. So they're having dinner. Oleg goes home. You know, the kid's like, oh, can Oleg stay for dinner? And they're like, no, he can't. He's got to go home, whatever. So he goes home to this abusive, horrible situation next door.
Yes, and his stepdad's and he's watching a John Wayne movie.
Yeah,
John Wayne and the Cowboys. He's watching.
Yes, which we should pause because we have this is an actual replica, made in 1992 by the Franklin Mint. This is a replica John Wayne Colt 45 Peacemaker.
That's awesome.
Yeah, totally. So we have it because John Wayne was like this guy's hero.
Right.
He's watching the Cowboys on TV.
Yeah, and one of the big things hold
this up to the camera so you can see too.
The things in the scene, and it just kind of goes to show again. This is where kind of weird emotionality. You know, there's obviously domestic abuse going on. You know, and he's talking to this kid about how much he loves John Wayne and how when he was growing up in the
Soviet Union
in Kiev, right? I think he says.
Something
like that,
because they had this is actually a true thing. Back in the day, they had these illegal underground VHS clubs,
and it was only like 15 minutes long.
Yeah, it was like pieces of the movie The Cowboys with John Wayne put together into like a short.
And then in that version, John Wayne doesn't die.
Yes.
And then he finally comes to America and he sees the full version, and John Wayne dies, and he basically decides he's going to fucking hate the rest of his life and everybody in it because he can't get back his childhood version where John Wayne doesn't die.
Yeah.
And now he's just stuck being bitter that John Wayne dies at the end of the Cowboys.
And on his back, we learn later, on his back, he's got this massive John Wayne tattoo.
It's almost like my Thundercats tattoo.
Yes. Yeah, it is. Nerd. Fucking nerd, man.
I'm like, I think my Thundercats tattoo might be just a little bit bigger.
But the director, Wayne Kramer, dedicated this movie to three other
directors,
filmmaker, writer, director, right? And one was Walter Hill, who
The Warriors,
48 Hours, Streets of Fire, which by the way is another underrated, awesome movie.
Such a good movie, dude.
Willem Dafoe.
My dad and I used to watch that when I was growing up.
Hard Times, he did.
Yep.
And then Brian De Palma,
of course.
Which
Scarface.
there are some homages in
definitely
in
a
here.
Scarface homage.
Yes, for sure. But then Sam Peckinpah, who is like the king of the old westerns, the king of the old westerns, right? Which is interesting though because Peckinpah didn't really have anything to do with the Cowboys and John Wayne, I think.
No, he didn't.
No, but he did like shit. He was like Have Gun Will Travel, The Wild Bunch, Gunsmoke,
yeah.
The Rifleman.
And I was going to say, I think John Wayne, did he die in any other movies besides the Cowboys? I don't recall.
I don't know.
I don't have.
It's a good question.
Yeah, I wonder. Because I'm wondering if maybe that's also something.
Listeners, viewers,
if John Wayne never died in another movie, that would also be a reason why he's like.
Yeah.
Because
it could be.
Interesting.
I mean, the hero doesn't often die.
Not back then. Now, all the time.
Yeah.
It's almost a cliche now having the hero die.
Now, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
I remember the first time the hero dying that I was shocked was A Better Tomorrow, John Woo movie, when Chow Yun-fat was giving this great speech and then all of a sudden just gets shot in the back of the fucking head in the middle of a speech.
Well, what was the one with was it Deep Blue Sea? The one
when Samuel Jackson gets eaten?
Yeah, Samuel Jackson right in the middle of his rally speech.
That's the best.
The shark comes up and just fucking kills him. It's so good. That was one of my favorite. The movie was like total shit, but that
that movie is absolute shit in the best way.
Yeah,
it's one of the very
totally
few
watch
shark
it if I
movies
see it.
that held up after Jaws.
Yeah. Well, it's a cyber shark. Better hold up. I don't know.
Well, they were genetically altered.
Yeah, they were altered.
Tiger sharks.
Yeah, it was crazy. But that scene, anyway. So, but my point is that Kramer loves the Western stuff. I mean, he dedicated, the movie to.
Well, there was a couple, in the final scene, there was definitely some Western, some shootout. You know what I mean? He definitely had some filming and some walkaway shots that were just like that.
Well, there's aspects of this whole movie that are like old school Western, like, like the hero saving, the hero against the legions of bad guys.
And then also, the bad guy with the heart who, you know what I mean? Who kind of turns towards the end, but
yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
But he had a lot of good things in there. So as the movie keeps progressing, because guys, this movie, we have to go through this movie piece by piece because there are so many insane parts to this movie.
Yes.
That also, as we go down, we might as well just let you know now that this was also based on a couple of different Grimm fairy tales, and a few of the characters in this were based on Grimm fairy tale characters.
Yeah.
Oleg was Pinocchio.
Well,
right?
So here's the deal. Like, before you definitely get into this.
Yeah.
But I, as a viewer, it is over my head, totally over my fucking head. Like, I feel like all these fairy tale references are like so cerebral and in the mind of the director,
right?
That I didn't get it. Like, if you didn't tell me afterwards, or even during the end credits, there's the animations, the fairy tale animations.
Yes,
but I did not see any connection to fairy tales while watching the movie at all. I wouldn't have been like, oh, this is totally an homage to like the Grimm fairy tale. Like,
I didn't get the kid being Pinocchio.
No, of course not.
But until like when he was like, oh, but he wants to be with another family and like in a real, and I was like, okay, I get it.
I get it.
But like there were a few of them, like the pimp being the Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
There were certain things that were there. Well, we'll get into.
Well, they're there, but I don't think people. I would bet that nobody watched it would have made that guess until after. I call bullshit. When you first saw that movie and you're watching the pimp, you're like, oh, he's the Mad Hatter.
No. I said this reminds me of Little Red Riding Hood. That's what I said.
Yeah.
When I was watching it, I go, oh, this kind of reminds me of Little Red Riding Hood and the Bad Wolves. And like, I definitely got a Grimm fairy tale feel from it. I did not say that guy was the Mad Hatter.
No.
I caught that from the video.
Yeah.
Like the videos that I watch afterwards when he broke down all the characters.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, because there's a dozen fairy tales referenced.
I did get the fairy tale feel from. I did get the adult version and the dark. I definitely got that.
Whatever, Ebert. I didn't get it.
All right.
Yeah, no, but that doesn't take away from the movie at all. It's just I didn't get that. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get that. I just thought it was.
I'm also a super fucking nerd.
Yeah, but you're not a Grimm nerd. What do you sit home and memorize the Grimm fairy tales?
No, but I do like the Grimm. Like, I loved all the Grimm shows and all that.
No, me
stuff.
too.
Like,
but it's like I don't know. I didn't see a connection.
Yeah. Like I said, the only connection I saw was I thought.
Yeah.
The three.
The Red Riding Hood.
Red Riding Hood. That was it.
Yeah. But wait, before we go on, we should tell the viewers, and listeners, you may be listening to us thinking this movie is a total shit show, but it's really not. It's it's really quite good.
It is.
Like, for what it is, it's quite good. I mean, this is, you have to go into it knowing that, oh, this is going to be. You
have to take the ride, and you just have to strap in and just shut your fucking brain off and
there's
enjoy
serious suspend disbelief things here. But what's interesting is so Wayne Kramer did The Cooler.
Mm-hmm.
His movie before this was The Cooler, and Alec Baldwin, that got rave reviews. Alec Baldwin got an Oscar nomination,
which is where he got the funding for this.
Exactly, and that's like the studio was like, oh, this guy, just do what you want.
Yes, and they gave him carte blanche.
Yes, they did.
Really did, and it's kind of I was glad you brought this up because this is where I wanted to say where. You have Zack Snyder, who's always got his vision that comes out after the studio gets their edit.
Yeah.
But sometimes the studio edit coming out first
is the vision.
And then you can understand what the director cut is. Because I feel that if they had a studio edit of this, that we saw the director's cut.
Yeah.
And the studio edit was never shown.
I feel like 20 years ago when this was made, like, studios would be more willing to take that risk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Because now I think the studio would have been like, you need to tighten this up. You need to bring this together. Like, this is
half the language
jumpy.
would have been censored out.
Oh, for sure.
Now.
But you know, like I was saying before, if they let Zack Snyder just make a director's cut right away, I think people would watch it and be like, what is going on in your head, dude?
Yeah. But that's kind of like this movie, right? This is like the director's cut where you're like,
but they gave him carte blanche, and
Yeah.
that's what I think happens, and I think that's why studios don't really do that.
yeah. I mean, because they're definitely, you're like, wow, this guy's brain is fucking.
They're like, we need
Wow.
to make sure that somebody third party watches this and can make sure that everyone else fucking understands it.
So fast forward just a little bit.
Mhm.
The kid, so Oleg steals the gun
Oh, right, and so they're
Right.
sitting down, they're eating dinner, basically as a family.
in the Russian family,
yes,
or family in quotes, because the handler, the prostitute, and her
Right.
and her kid
right. So then
living as a family.
she brings him food, and then, you know, obviously you can see the tension, and there's obviously, you know, domestic abuse going on, and Oleg is a defiant kid, and he
Mhm.
takes this moment to get a rise out of his stepfather, we'll just call him, and he's like, John Wayne was a fag.
Yeah, he uses. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. This is language that
You know-
wouldn't pass these days. But he was like,
Excuse the term, but it's what
John
they say.
Wayne was a F.
You know, that's what he says,
He
and then
sets the dad off.
and it sets the dad off, and he goes and he, you know, drops his food, drops the plate, sends him to his room.
He
flips
doesn't he
out.
hit him? Doesn't he hit him once? I mean, I know he gets
don't-
hit at some point.
I know
in
he
here.
gets hit at. I don't know if he hit him there.
Oh,
'cause
no,
I think he just took off.
He gets hit later after they're reunited, and he's
Yes.
trying to get the
He-
kid to say, "Where's the gun?"
gives him a rap in the fucking police station.
He's playing nice. He's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you know, I'm sorry, I'm a bad," but we'll get to that. But anyway, so the kid insults John Wayne.
hmm
By the way, the mom is played by Ivana Milicevic, who some of you might know her from Banshee. She was fucking Banshee. It's a great show.
Yeah, I love.
She was in Banshee, and she was in the 100.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but she was not known back then.
No. A lot. This was a lot of. There are a couple of other people
Yeah.
like that were
Yeah.
unknown in this.
Yeah. So anyway, now this argument is going on in the Russian household, and we go back to the Walker household.
Yes, and now they're eating dinner.
Yeah, they're eating dinner.
Right, they're eating pasta.
Yeah.
And Paul Walker's getting upset because the old man,
Or Joey. Joey is his name, right?
his dad,
Yeah.
Joey, right?
Yeah.
And his dad is obviously got some mental issues going on that you don't really know about, but they do get into. And he's can't really eat his pasta, and he's dropping it, and it's obviously pissing Joey off.
Yeah.
And
And you hear a gunshot from
then you hear a gunshot
from next door,
from next door,
from the Russian house.
and it comes through the window.
Yeah.
Like basically right through them eating dinner.
And they do this. They do like I don't know what you call it, like a tracking shot, like
shot.
like
I would call it a tracking shot.
a point of view of the bullet, like they're traveling with the bullet.
Yeah, but I think what they did was so from the next door neighbor's house,
Yeah.
right, and then to Paul Walker to the Joey's house where
Yeah.
they're sitting eating dinner and
Through
they-
the neighbor's window, through their window.
So they pull the whole thing back,
Yeah.
right, and then they show what was going on in the house.
Yep.
And then they show the shot, and then basically what they did was they took Paul Walker's brother,
Who's not a twin brother, but a fucking dead ringer, dude.
but a dead ringer. So once the shot came out, we have to go back to why Paul Walker was in the house.
Yeah.
Shot comes out, he hides his family, goes and gets his gun,
Yeah.
and then tells everybody to get down and goes next door and is trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yes.
So he goes in the house and he sees the dad with a bullet hole in his shoulder on the ground.
Yeah, because at this point we assumed that the father shot somebody.
Yes. And then Joey's like, where the fuck is he? Where is he? Where'd he go?
Yeah.
And he's like, it was Oleg. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't understand
The kid shot the handler.
that the kid shot
pimp,
him.
The pimp father figure.
And then
whatever.
they do the rewind.
Yep.
Right. So then they do the rewind, and Paul Walker is now in the other house.
Yeah.
And they do the rewind through into now he's
Mhm.
back with the family in his house.
Yes.
They show the bullet shot, and then they pull it back on a track
Yep.
to where Paul Walker's brother is in the house. They pull it back on the track, go through the bullet holes of the two windows,
Yeah.
back to the gun, and then back to Paul Walker's face.
Yeah. So they basically that would have been CGI today. They would have
Absolutely.
CGI'd Paul Walker in both places.
Yeah.
But they used his brother and
was
did it like as a
so awesome.
oneer, as a tracking shot oneer, where they pass the brother, you think it's Paul Walker, and then they back into the actual house and it's Paul Walker there too.
Yes,
It was
and
pretty
it's
cool.
going through his thoughts.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean.
Yeah. That was pretty slick, dude.
Yes, And then when afterwards, when I was watching the behind the scene features when I bought the DVD when it came out, that was how I learned how they did that. They did that scene because they had it all in the special features, which I was like, oh wow,
yeah,
that's so cool. And now it's so funny that you mentioned the CGI because you think about it, you're like, oh, they wouldn't even do it now. They would CGI the windows, they would CGI the actors, they would just do everything, and they would just it's interesting. But what a great shot.
So now the kid's on the run with the gun, and this is the same gun that killed the cop.
Yes,
right, and he was supposed to ditch this gun.
Right.
So now the incriminating weapon is out somewhere with this kid.
Well, also the bullet is now.
Well, that's the thing. The Russian pimp daddy,
right,
goes to the hospital in the ambulance, and Joey, Paul Walker, is freaking out because he's like,
well, that was before. That was to get the slug, but he had to get the shell casing.
Oh, in the house
before that.
Yeah.
And he and when the cops were there, and he chewed the gum.
So
and then he spit the gum on the floor and stepped on it, and then picked up the shell.
So here's
a shoe in the gum.
Here's why that would never happen.
Cool.
Here's why that would never happen.
A million reasons.
No, I mean, I'm not even talking about how he would never sneak into a hospital like that, which is another suspended.
No. I mean, when he went into the house and he did
there would never be a shell casing from a revolver.
Yes, of course.
So the fact that he's looking for a shell casing is stupid.
It's
right?
ridiculous.
Because revolvers don't eject shell casings.
No, they don't.
So I remember watching that. I'm like, why is he looking for a shell casing? This was a revolver.
Yes.
But whatever. There's a shell casing.
And there was one there.
Yeah, totally.
No, that was why I was like, wait, we need to talk about this.
Yeah, totally.
Because that's a huge hole, sort of.
It's not a hole.
It's not a hole, but it's.
They were like, hey, we need a plot device for him to be over there. Shell casing. Somebody in the writer's room or whatever. There's no writer's room on a movie, but somebody was probably like, but wait, revolvers don't eject shell casings. Doesn't matter. We need a reason for him to be there.
Like when John Wick was going to shoot himself in the foot.
Yes.
And they're like, we don't care. It's a movie.
Yeah, totally. No, that was J.J. Perry. I'll share that story. It was like I was in rehearsals for John Wick 2, and we were doing. They were reviewing the armbar transition, one armbar to the other, right? So he's got his legs around the mercenary's head.
Yep.
And he pulls a gun and shoots the guy's head while he's doing an armbar. It's like the scissor choke armbar combination.
Yeah. The triangle choke
armbar. Yeah. And Keanu was like, yeah, but he would shoot himself in the leg if he did that. And J.J. Perry was like, doesn't matter. It's a fucking movie, dude.
Fucking movie. Who cares?
Yeah. Totally. But anyway, so he gets the shell casing. Now he's got to get the slug because he doesn't want the police to find the slug.
Right.
Because it'll trace back to the gun that killed the cops.
So when we said strap on, turn your brain off, and get ready for the ride, this is the fucking first part of the ride.
Yeah.
Because
so now
you really need to shut your shit off now.
They show this weird like time lapse, rewind, fast forward of him prying the plug out of the wall, and then taking another plug and then sneaking into the hospital. He's gonna try. He sneaks his way all the way into the OR where. How does this happen? He sneaks his way all the way into the OR. By the way,
wait, was it a shell casing or was it another slug he dug out of the wall? Then it fell on the floor.
He did. No, there was a shell casing scene, I believe, but he dug the thing out of the wall to get rid of it.
I think that was I don't think it was a shell casing. I think he dug the slug out of the wall. It hit the floor, and then it was the slug he was picking up.
Oh, so can we do our own rewind?
Shit, we fucked up, man. You know what? I'm like, wait a second. He popped the slug out of the wall and dropped it, and that was why he didn't get it right away. So then he had to think quickly, and when the cops came in, he was like, chewed the gum to get it soft to pick it up.
Oh, that's
on the bottom of a shoe.
Okay, so it wasn't a shell casing.
It wasn't a shell casing.
We take it back.
We take it back.
We take it back.
Yes.
Or we don't. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go watch it again. But I think I think you're right.
100% positive it was a slug.
So anyway, but he has to get the other slug that was in the Russian pimp daddy's shoulder.
Yes.
He sneaks his way into the hospital. Like he's literally in like a flannel shirt and jeans or whatever, and he's walking alongside like a stretcher coming in from the ER.
But he put his mask on. So just like when my 2-year-old, decides to hide, just put a little tissue and you're gone.
He sneaks his way all the way into and he finds out in the other operating room was the cop that got shot in the balls or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Just by coincidence. And then he runs into, but now his face is open. He runs into Chazz Palminteri. And they have this don't I know you moment.
Well, because Chazz Palminteri recognizes him from the room.
But
he doesn't recognize Chazz because he had the mask on. And obviously, in that moment, Chazz Palminteri can't speak because
they're in the hospital waiting room.
Well, you'd also just recognize that voice.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh, my God. So anyway, he makes it all the way into the OR and tries to get the slug, and the nurse doesn't give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
And it ends up getting to Chazz Palminteri. Yeah. So now they know.
Because forensics comes back instantly.
Yeah. And now the kid ends up right at the hospital with the dad in recovery. He's got and they go to the diner or something, and the dad is like, I forgive you for shooting me, kid. It's like
I remember what it was like. He goes, it showed balls.
But it showed you had balls, kid.
And then he's like, I'm sorry.
He's like, I'm sorry. Now tell me, where's the gun?
No. But then the kid was like, I'm sorry. He's like, no, it's okay. He's like,
I'm sorry, I missed.
The
kid's like, I'm sorry, and the pimp dad's like, you good kid, and he's like,
shit.
He's like, no, I'm sorry, I missed. Some of the writing is fucking great, dude. Right? So that's when he hits the kid in the face. When he says, I'm sorry, I missed. He hits the kid, and the kid Oleg picks up the table and throws it on him
and runs out. Yeah.
And now he's in the parking lot hiding from his dad,
mm-hmm.
and he's trying different car doors and stuff. And there's a van, and the doors open. And he jumps in the back of the van, and the father leaves. And then he realizes there's a whole bunch of toys, and there's two other kids in this van.
Yeah.
He jumped into the van of a husband and wife. Pedophile,
murderer,
like
pedophile, kidnapper couple.
Yes. And so he goes from frying pan into the fire.
Shit, dude.
Next thing you know, he's in this fucking house, with like this crazy playroom thing with videos, and they're making it's just creepy pedo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they don't show any pedo stuff, but you know what's
going on.
Yeah.
And then they show the videos. And what's really cool is the way that they design this whole house.
Mm-hmm.
So there were no corners in this house. And the way that they lit it was there was no shadows.
Yeah.
And they wanted it to make it look like there was nowhere to hide.
Yeah, there's no straight angles. Everything was curved.
Right. So there was nowhere. So they wanted to make it seem like there's nowhere anybody could hide, anybody could run.
And the lighting is distinctly different. So everything before this was sort of like this hyper colorized, almost comic booky,
like Good Time,
like overly saturated colors,
like Only God Forgives.
Yeah. Like, and then this one is almost like they didn't have, like, I guess HD back then. It was almost like the crisp.
Yes.
Right. And like you said, everything was round. There was no corners, nowhere to hide, blah, blah, blah.
And no shadows. If you go back and watch it, there's zero shadows in any of that, except for when they warp the shadows of the characters, which was very cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then, and then Oleg immediately realized there's something not wrong. And and then he asked to go to the bathroom.
The mom was Elizabeth Mitchell.
Yes.
From Lost, if you guys remember.
And the dad was, I got to put my glasses on.
Des. Bruce Altman.
Bruce Altman, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was I didn't expect to see either of them in a role like this. And apparently they said they approached this role to a lot of people, but a lot of people passed on it because they just didn't want to play pedophiles.
Yeah.
But
they were great.
They were so good. They were scary as fuck.
They were
really fucking scary.
Creepy.
And then
super creepy.
So Oleg realizes what's going on, and he's trying to figure out a way out. So he says he's sick, and he gets himself to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So while he's in the bathroom, he
stole the cell phone out of her purse.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now he's got a cell phone. He's locked in the bathroom, and he's trying to get in touch with Mrs. Gazelle, right? Yep. Joey's wife.
Yep.
And that in itself is a pretty crazy scene. She did a great job of keeping her shit together to get the information, understanding that she had to keep calm, but at the same time showing how fucking freaked out she was.
Yeah, totally.
And how hard, that was phenomenal acting.
She was really great. She was like trying to get him to figure out some way to say where he was.
Right. But in the meantime, she's freaking out because,
you
know, you're having a kid tell you that he's stuck in a house with two adults, two other kids.
Yeah.
And, you know, and obviously on top of what's already going on with the night.
Yeah, yeah.
So she knows that Joey's looking for the kid, that everyone's looking for him. And now she gets a call
from the
kid that he's in a house, doesn't know where he is. And then she starts going through, and honestly, very, very smart. She says, open up the medicine cabinet and see if you can find a pill bottle and give me the address off of it.
Yep. Which he does.
So that works. We don't have to go into the,
But she finds them because the address on the pill bottle.
Yes.
And she gets there.
Yes.
And she forces her way in, basically, to the apartment. Can't find him anywhere.
No.
And they're just throwing out every excuse,
And she knows there's something wrong.
Yeah.
And she is about to buy it. She's about to leave. And she's like, okay, your kids, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. This house is fucking insane.
Yeah, because she saw the playroom and everything, and they were like, oh, it's the kids and everything. And then she's, can't find anybody in the place. And then she's about to leave and the door's about to close. And they
I forget they say, but they're like, yo, you can never be too careful. We know how we would be with our kids. And then she's like, your kids. She's like, there's no fucking pictures of your kids.
Yeah.
She's like,
where are your kids?
She goes, where are your kids? She goes, you don't have. She's like, no. And then she goes back in.
Yeah.
And then
she has a gun.
She pulls her gun out. Right.
Yep.
And then
so now she's researching everything. She opens a cabinet.
And she sees the body,
through it's like a frosted glass door on the cabinet.
Yes.
Right.
And she opens it up and she sees all these like costumes, like these cosplay, like, they have the kids dress up, and then, moves over, and then there's the body bags.
Yep.
That are lined up. And then she moves the body bags over, and then there's got to be 60 DV or 60 CDs.
Yeah, it's all CDs labeled with
all different kids' names on it. So obviously they murdered and videotaped all those kids. And then they go down and they see all these fucking metal fucked up tools and shit.
Yep.
So
then she opens the frosted glass cabinet door. She sees the shape of Oleg.
Well, she says, where is he?
Yeah.
And then she screams it again, and then they look at the
cabinet.
They look at the cabinet, and then the camera pans down there, and you see a fucking body up against the cabinet window.
Yeah.
And now this was the most, I've never seen a scene like this in a movie before.
This was creepy.
This is a fucked up scene. She opens up the door, and Oleg falls out, hands duct tape behind his back.
Plastic bag over his head.
Duct tape around his fucking neck, and just slumps out.
Boom.
Dead.
Yeah.
A kid.
Yeah.
Never seen that before in a fucking movie.
Well, you think he's dead. But, yeah. But he's close to dead.
I mean, yeah. So then she pulls the bag off, starts doing CPR. And what was really great is she put the gun down.
Yeah.
And I like how they kind of showed that, again, this couple was apprehensive because they're not action stars.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
no, at first he just offers her money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they try and take the gun, but she sees it coming and she picks it up and she points it at him again. But I kind of like how they had that back and forth, but she also
she's doing CPR, but half of her attention is on them, and they're not sure how to. There's this. Yeah, there's this.
And then she's doing it with one hand with the gun on them.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and then he comes out of it.
Yeah.
What a scene, dude.
Yeah. So she rescues the kid.
Kid. Yes. And then they're about to walk out.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "Oleg, go wait in the car."
Yeah.
And she fucking turns around and she fucking drills them both.
Yeah, totally.
Like
boom, boom.
And you've never kind of been so excited.
Yeah,
before.
totally.
Like you kind of cheered on it. You were like, yes.
Yeah.
Like fuck those two.
You just wish it was with a John Wayne with a Colt Peacemaker.
Right. So, and again, this scene just comes out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Like this whole scene and with this whole, and the way they shot the lighting and everything, it really took you out of this. And kind of put you into this short little clip. And that's why, before when I was saying it felt like a Sunday cartoon that you watch each week, but then they just decided to put it all in a book and have you read it.
Yeah.
So
she rescues the kid.
Yeah.
And
then she rescues the other two kids.
Yeah. She gets all of them out.
Right. She calls 911. She gets the two kids out.
Yeah.
She takes Oleg and then she leaves leaves the two kids outside.
Yeah. You stay here. I've got other problems to deal with.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
So, and then she has Oleg and they all go meet at the fucking diner again, right?
Yes. Yeah. How do we get back into the whole chase how do we get back to what takes us from here to the ice rink?
No. They go to the park. They got to go to the park first. And then the homeless guy takes the gun from him.
Oh, that's right.
Right. So then the homeless guy gets the gun, and then he goes to try to get the gun from the homeless guy.
Yeah, Joey goes in there,
but that doesn't fucking work out. So then,
dude, this is a roller coaster ride of a movie.
It's insane because he gets away from them again. So what I think actually, the order of this part of the movie is quite confusing.
Yeah.
I actually think.
Oh, we just fell off our table. Our
Good
pops
catch.
fell down. Yeah.
Good catch. I actually think that the scene with the park may have come first.
Yeah.
I think the scene with the
So
park
what happens in the
came
park
first. So basically, they run into the park, and the kid goes finds his way into the bathroom, and
Right.
then there's like this dirty fucking homeless guy like in the
Oh
shadows.
no, yeah, but first wait. Where's this is where they put the gun in the toilet.
Yes.
And then when Joey gets to the toilet, finally it's gone.
Yes.
Yes. It's like in a park bathroom or something.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And the whole right. So again, this movie goes all over the place because the kid took it and then he hit it, and then I mean,
yeah, the homeless guy found it.
The homeless guy found it.
We're doing a real fast forward here through to save time, but
yeah,
Joey tracks them there, finds the homeless guy.
Homeless guy doesn't have the gun.
He doesn't have the gun anymore. Yeah.
And then basically this, he sold it.
Yes.
He got rid of it to get drugs.
Yeah.
And then that guy went to go to a house to go play poker.
That's right.
And then now he's going to track down this guy, Manny.
Right.
Right. And then
That's right. Manny is the guy who he sold the gun to.
Yes.
This drug dealer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then he goes and he tracks the gun down to this house, and then goes to the guy's wife, threatens the guy's fucking wife.
He's got the gun to her head and stuff, and they're all just hysterical laughing. They're high as fuck. Remember? They're all just like laughing.
This was after that. After he threatens his wife, finds out where he is.
Yeah.
It's like he goes up to the poker room. He's got a gun to his head. They're all fucking whacked out on whatever it is, and they're all just laughing while he's fucking threatening him. And then he realizes that as he was walking out, a guy he passed on the stairs just cleaned out Manny in the poker game, and he had the gun.
Yes. This is where it goes. That gun, it's like follow the gun.
Follow the gun. So now he's running out to go and find that guy to get the gun.
Yeah.
Right? Which now leads them back to which now leads to him following the Latin guy who goes to the pimp, who goes to the diner. And because right, and then the kid is in the diner, and then the kid finds the hooker, and this movie is so crazy.
Yes,
it's so fucking crazy.
This is probably why Rotten Tomatoes top critics gave it 24%.
Right, because they're just like, if you go back and you try and talk about it, you're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
There's
so many like offshoots and tangents because the kid ends up with the hooker. Oleg ends up with the hooker.
Yes,
she kind of protects him.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't remember exactly how that happens and how the kid breaks off on his own and ends up with the hooker. I kind of forget
me too.
How that transpired with the park and everything else.
Yeah.
Because I know that after that, I think the all of that shit happens before she saves him and gets him and then brings him to Paul Walker, and then they're running around together for a while now.
For a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So I think all of that shit happened in the park before.
Yeah. Damn.
Right?
And I just watched this shit last night.
Dude, but that's how crazy this movie is. Yeah. It's just hyper surreal,
Yeah.
Especially the way it all cuts and the way it ends always goes back to the diner like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Well,
the diner's like the home base.
Yeah.
Which the interior of the diner was shot in Prague, but the exterior was actually shot in New Jersey.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like 5% of the movie was shot in New Jersey. The rest of it was shot in Prague. But let's fast forward. So eventually they all end up, the Russian mob boss, right? How does John Noble, the Russian mob boss, who, by the way, John Noble's freaking awesome.
He's awesome. He is
Walter Bishop from Fringe.
I will say that he is the best part of this movie.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah. Because he finally is like involved because of the whole Russian, the pimp daddy getting shot and like all this other stuff, right?
Yes. Yeah. So basically, what ends up happening is because of the pistol with the cops and then the deal with the Russians and how it was all going on,
and the Italian mob is there. Yeah.
They decided to have a meeting.
Yeah.
Because.
Wait, how the fuck did the Italian mob get in there? Because of Chazz Palminteri, the dirty cop?
No. Because
I'm fucking confused.
Because the Russians were involved with the gun.
Yeah.
So they were involved with the whole thing because of Paul Walker and the neighbor.
Yes.
That's how they all got involved.
Yeah, because of the neighbors.
Because it was all about this gun.
Because of the pimp daddy and the gun.
Right.
Yeah.
It all has to do with the gun and the fucking kid.
They still don't know at this part where they get together. They still don't know who shot the guy in the balls.
Yes, they think that Paul Walker told the kid to shoot his dad.
Yes.
That's what he's pitching it to the Italians.
Yeah.
And that's what they're saying happened. And that's why they have Paul Walker there now, and they're trying to boom. And then before that, don't forget, one of the guys that they were in the hotel room with, they went to a private meeting, and then they were talking about how one of the guys is a rat, and then boom, and then he shoots his fucking buddy.
Yeah, shoots him right in the head.
Shoots him right in the fucking head, and he goes, nobody knows nobody.
Yep.
Right? So then they just shot another guy that they've been with for like 12 years. So now Paul Walker's really freaked out because then they take him to the Russians.
Yeah.
Right? This movie's fucking everywhere.
It is.
So then when they go to the Russians, it's Gorski is trying to get them.
Gorski is John Noble, the boss.
John Noble, the boss. Yeah. And he's trying to figure out what's happened. And then Carl Rotton, what's his name? Ivan?
The father?
The
pimp daddy?
The pimp daddy is trying to get Paul Walker to admit that he told the kid to shoot him.
Yes.
That's where they're at.
Yeah.
And then no one is doing it. No, he's like, fuck this. I'm not. He tried to do it. And Paul Walker's like, nope.
This is all on a hockey rink in the middle of a hockey rink.
In the middle of a hockey rink. Right. So far, it's just a hockey rink.
Yeah. They didn't turn on all the cool stuff yet.
But they are about to set up a really, really awesome scene. So then as they start talking about Gorski starts talking to the kids and how he likes hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, you want to see something really cool? And they shut all the lights off in the arena, and then the black lights come on, and then it's awesome.
Everything is glowing blue.
Everything is glowing blue. It's like Batman.
Yeah.
It's like the fourth Batman movie or whatever.
Yeah.
But
with accents of red.
Yes.
And pink.
And all the ice, they had colors, paint in the ice.
Yeah.
And the pucks were black.
It's like if you dropped acid during an episode of Miami Vice. You'd be surrounded by like pinks and blues.
Yeah.
And fuchsias.
So then, you see the hockey players on the ice and they're shooting the pucks in the black light, and it's really fucking cool. And they were basically just like, nobody comes to see hockey anymore. We got to do shit to bring the seats in, and this is cool as fuck. So everything goes bad. They fucking take Paul Walker. They put him on the ice. They put his hands behind his back.
And the hockey players are doing slap shots against Paul Walker's face.
Right, they're literally taking slap shots, and just you're watching the point of view shot of his face and the puck. And that was CGI.
Yeah,
that was CGI. But yeah, just the puck's just hitting him in the face, as they're just taking slap shots.
It was so bloody.
What was really cool about that is also they had the pool of blood that was coming out of his mouth while he was talking, but you could see it was melting the ice.
Yeah, it was like a puddle.
It was really cool
and then what we learned was that the thing that kept this from going to an NC-17 was the blood was not red. It was black. It was black
because of the black light.
Yeah, the censor said, "Oh, well, it's not red. We'll give it an R rating," which is stupid, but that's how it works.
It is how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, think about, people are like, well, why wasn't Lord of the Rings rated R? I'm like, well, because they were all orcs. They're not human.
Yeah. So, of course, a big fight ensues on the ice. People are slipping and sliding, falling, shooting, this and that. And then...
Which was a great shootout, by the way. And it was funny when you find out that they were actually really slipping.
Yeah. The actors and stuff were really falling on the ice. They apparently had, like, the spiked shoes, but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
They were still just, like, falling all over the place. So they escape.
Yes. Well, they have a pretty good size shootout. Another good shotgun blast.
Cool. We're gonna. Yeah. I mean, that is a cool scene. This is a perfect example of how this movie is strung together. Lots of cool scenes.
What's also really awesome is when you watch the scene and they have the shootout on the ice, and when the bullets hit the ice, they have the ink and the ice
is red.
So it like the
ching, like fluorescent red.
Black light fluorescent red catches the
ice chips
it's coming off the squibs.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Yeah, it is cool. So they get it. So anyway, Paul Walker and the kid get out of there.
Yeah, the movie's not done yet, guys. I know it sounded like a final scene, right? No,
it's not.
Keeps going. So
We're close. We're close.
We're getting close. So they get out. They are in the car, and they are now heading to the house.
Yes, where mom is, and all that.
So they're heading to the house to where the mom is, right? And then no, I'm sorry. They decide to go get breakfast before they go home. Yeah, no, they stop.
No, you're right.
They decide, they're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm hungry. Let's go get breakfast.
Yeah.
So they decide to go get breakfast.
I forgot about
and
this.
they're eating in the diner, and Paul Walker goes to the bathroom.
That's right.
And then the fucking pimp comes up.
Yes.
Because he remembers the kid. Because the kid fucking...
Yeah, this scene will link in the show notes.
We'll link in the show notes. And this goes back to where we lost the order, and somehow the hooker finds the kid.
Yeah.
And then he gets...
This is the hooker's pimp and all that.
He gets into an argument with the pimp.
Yeah.
And then the pimp sees like, I fucking told you I'd come find you again. And he's like, and he has all his like...
He's got a switchblade to Oleg's face.
Yes. And he's like, I'm going to make you smile from ear to ear. He's got great pimp lines.
And Joey, Paul Walker, comes out.
Yes.
And the pimp has the gun.
Pimp has the gun.
The pimp has the gun.
He has the snub nose they're looking for
this whole time.
And it's pointing right in his fucking face.
Yep.
And then Paul Walker's got a fucking switchblade after they had a little bit of scuffle. He took it off him. Oleg goes to grab the gun. The pimp grabs it.
Yep.
And he goes, I'm a fucking Mac Daddy pimp, you motherfucker.
No, yeah, but this is the Scarface homage where the pimp draws the gun and says, say hello to my little friend.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then Paul Walker says something stupid. He's like, that's a stupid fucking thing to say.
Yeah, totally. Anyway, they kill the pimp.
So then basically they're going to have the standoff, and now you're back at the opening scene.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're back at the opening scene, and you find out what happens, and basically you have the gun drawn, and the guy's got the knife, and you got the 21-foot rule, I guess we'll call it.
Yeah.
That's the 21-foot standoff.
Yeah, so Joey charges him.
You hear the gunshot.
Boom. Now we're back to the opening scene where you realize it's not the kid who shot, it's Joey.
It's Joey.
Yeah, and he's driving, trying to get the kid home.
Yes, to their house. And then while this is going on, you're now going to the wife in the house.
Yes.
Because he's on the phone with her.
Yeah.
Right? And then you're going next door. Again, holy shit.
Yeah.
So now you're going next door to seeing Oleg's mother, who is now...
going to commit suicide in the most crazy way.
She's sitting in her house, right? And you just see her kind of sitting there, like fucking doing whatever. And then they pan out, and you realize that she's got like all the fucking stoves and the ovens on, and the gas
it's like a propane tank and
coming out in the fucking apartment.
And she's sitting there with a lighter.
Boom, and the whole fucking house goes up. Done.
I was like, man, she got a raw deal,
right?
Like she did not survive this movie. Goodbye.
Yeah,
you're gone.
So she's done. So Oleg's mother
Banshee.
just fucking blew herself up.
Banshee wasn't long after this movie, right? It was like this was 06 when did Banshee come? Yeah. So
then now Paul Walker shows up to the house like a few minutes later after the neighbor's house fucking blows up.
Yeah, because the mom was laying on the couch with their son.
Mm-hmm.
And then the explosion comes through the windows. They fall off the couch.
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah. Now, like Paul Walker, Joey is driving, passing out because he's losing blood, and he loses consciousness. Mm-hmm. And the kid's trying to steer with one hand.
Yes.
Car crashes.
Oh, we also forgot to mention that while they were on the ice, this small little thing that like didn't really go into this movie very much. Paul Walker, you find out that he was a fucking cop.
Oh yeah, we found that
undercover. That was undercover for 12 years.
Yeah, his wife didn't even know.
So his wife didn't know. His kid didn't know. Nobody fucking knew. And
everybody
really didn't go
even
into
his own wife thought
it
he was
just brought up
criminal.
very, very quickly. He's like, "You've been a cop." He's like, "Yeah, this whole fucking time."
Yeah,
and that was it.
Yeah. It's like, so we'll just throw that in there. He's actually an undercover cop.
Yeah, they could have just kept him being a fucking piece of shit.
It wouldn't have changed the story.
It wouldn't have changed the story at all. Yeah.
So the car crashes.
Which is probably why we
dying.
Left it out.
He's dying. He's like on the ground in his white. This is the most
shot. 3 hockey pucks to the face.
Yeah, overly melodramatic scene.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this scene was. It kind of made me laugh.
It was on and on.
It was a little funny.
Are we going to the game, Dad? And blah blah blah. And they're just talking and talking.
Big time.
It's just like on and on. It's like this is literally like a Hollywood death. It's like, dude, fucking die already.
It was like the end of Lord of the Rings. It just kept going.
It just he's talking to the wife, he's talking to the kid, and they're crying and they're having this moment, and then he fucking dies.
No, he doesn't fucking die.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
That's the fucking problem. He doesn't fucking. They go through all that shit and he doesn't fucking die.
You think he dies, and then you think the whole thing is all wrapped up. You think it's all wrapped up. He dies. The fucking the pimp daddy's dead. The prostitute the prostitute's mother's dead. Chazz Palminteri, we didn't even get into that. He got blown up.
Yes.
He got blown up. He's
Yes,
dead.
He's dead.
Everybody's fucking dead.
Yep.
Except for the mom.
Yep.
And the 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
They're the survivors.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, no. A little fast forward to
the mom driving with the kid in the
country
the
house.
fucking highway, and,
Yeah.
and the dad's fucking home.
And somehow Paul Walker survived.
Yes.
Joey survived.
Yep.
And they're a big happy family at the fucking end.
Like in Kentucky somewhere, just living on
totally.
a fucking farm. Yeah. And by the way, there are certain parts of this that we just left out. I mean, we left out
a lot.
We could probably do another fucking hour
because we only have 90 minutes for this whole thing.
Just on the order and the little things that we left out.
Yes.
Right? Chazz Palminteri getting blown up, the homeless guy in the fucking park.
Yeah.
And then him taking stabbing the pimp in the leg.
Yeah. There's tons of stuff. So listen, this movie cost $17 million to make in 2005. I'm assuming they made it in 2005. The opening weekend, it only made $3.838 million. And
6.8
gross. It didn't even make 10 million
short. It was still 10 million short of making its money
off
back.
of a $17 million movie.
That's crazy. What would it need to make? $17 million movie need to make what? Like 35 million?
They didn't
to make money?
Double it. It'd be like 34 million would be
35.
You'd make your money back plus 100%, You'd have a profit. The movie did terribly. But what's interesting is if you go to Rotten Tomatoes, it's like 24% for the critics. What is it?
76%.
76%. 79% for audience. Yeah. Audiences love it.
Yeah.
And on IMDb, this is Wayne Kramer's highest rated movie at like 7.3. Crazy.
Yeah. So that's why, that was why I was like, this movie is just, it stands alone. It really, really does. It just, for what it's about, the story, the insanity, and
on the ice, I'm just going back to the ice because I'm staring at the gun.
Uh-huh.
This is when he takes the pimp daddy takes off his shirt,
takes the jacket off because
you see the John Wayne tattoo on his back. He's gonna die like John Wayne
because he asks him to he's like, kill the kid. He's like, he's not your fucking blood.
Yeah,
so kill him anyway.
He's like, if he doesn't tell you where the gun is, kill him.
Yes, and then he realizes in that moment that he's the bad guy.
Yes,
and he decides that he's.
So John Wayne, so he becomes the hero and dies like John Wayne.
Yeah.
He has really that John Wayne moment.
And I also like that he's got that big John Wayne tattoo on his back.
And the bullet holes are right in John Wayne's eyes.
Right in his fucking eyes, and then one right in the middle of the head.
Yeah, totally. Like the guy shot out the tattoo John Wayne's eyes.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, totally.
But like I said, this movie, there's so many layers and so many things in this movie. You can talk about all of it and still forget so much of it.
Like, you know what I told you yesterday, final thoughts on this is that I feel like I would like to read the screenplay because I kind of feel like the screenplay is better than the movie.
I understand what you're saying
because I don't love a lot of the way it was shot and it was like distracting, like to me. But I feel like this maze of a story would probably be really interesting to read. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I would bet there's so much that got cut out that's in the screenplay that ties it together better.
Yeah,
that would be my guess. So you think so? Is it? I mean, if we go by audience ratings, the critics did get it wrong.
The critics got it wrong. I think the critics definitely got it wrong on this. I think sometimes,
I mean, it's not like a 10.
It's definitely not a 10, but it's also not a movie that you have to be so critical about. Like there are action movies, that critics raved about that were shit.
Yeah, for sure.
So, it's just like, how do you...
I think if you're in the mood for a action movie that's over the top, that has that kind of gritty period, feel to it, then...
Definitely gritty subject matter.
Yeah.
Just like they don't hold back.
It has some really great performances by people, and some of the scenes are pretty freaking great.
Yeah, I would say it's probably Paul Walker's one of his best performances because it's the only performance where he actually shows a little bit of some range.
Yeah, like he definitely shows his acting chops, more than like Fast and the Furious, like whatever.
For sure.
Yeah. So, all right. So we give it a slightly enthusiastic thumbs up. Or what would you do you think the audience rating as is 7.9 79% is good? Would you stick with what the Rotten Tomatoes audience gives it?
I would actually, yeah, I think 79 is good.
Yeah,
I'm all right. If we go out of 100,
I'm like 7 out of 10 is good for me.
7 out of 10 works for me.
For sure. All right,
I definitely don't think I would go closer to 8. 79. I was going to say maybe more like 75.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah.
There we go.
But definitely watch this movie, and if you like it, go check out
The Cooler.
The Cooler. And also, I just wanted to say that something that's noted that this director has mentioned before, when people ask him why, they set up the tones of, he sets up this dark tone.
There's different color palettes
movies
for different portions of the movie,
but his movies don't end that way. And basically, his reasoning behind it, and he said in an interview, he goes, I just like the audience to leave satisfied with everything tied up. And he goes, and I like it when it's nice and neat. He goes, so I like a happy ending.
Yeah, he gives you the Hollywood happy ending.
Go fuck yourself. Go make your own movie if you don't want a happy ending.
Go raise $17 million to lose.
He's like, go do it on your own. He's like, that's it. Even The Cooler. I'm not ruining any movies that haven't been out for over fucking 10 years, 20 years now. Cooler, dark, fucked up movie. William H. Macy, unlucky motherfucker.
Yep.
Buttons up nice and neat.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I think that's a wrap for us on this episode, bro.
This episode, man. I'm stoked. This is a good episode. This is good talk.
Yeah, cool. Go see the movie. If you do go watch it, write in the comments. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, and then also go see the other Running Scared, because that movie's good too.
Yeah, that one. We should do the Running Scared.
We should do movies with the same title.
Still Running Scared.
That have nothing to do with each other.
Are the critics running scared? I don't know. All right, man. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in, folks.
See you guys.
Film Fights with Friends is brought to you by Breakfall Studios. Executive producers Stephen Kepfer, Paul Veracci, Tiago Benedetti. Produced by Press Record Studios with Corey Gums. Associate producers Becca GT and Jared DeCrose. Edited by Matthew Kaplowitz. Original music by Aru Luster.